right, let's return to our top 10 most common attacks. We were dealing with the lowest level, which was first the finger to the chest and now the pushing. Remember, we're also trying to understand the ideas of being able to injure to a degree and also staying within the legal idea of justified force. What's the appropriate amount of force? So it's a difficult idea, but if you practice this, it really gives you a lot of control over the person, because no jury in the land can think that you using less force in the person can be excessive. So when he pushes you on the chest, that's a fairly aggressive thing. But if I use this hand slide like we talked about, all I'm really doing is holding on to his arm. So he's trying to push me, but I'm using just a hand on his arm. Let's take a look at the mechanics again. Remember, the idea is as he pushes, I can't try to hit it from the side. It's usually too late. So I'm not making a circular motion like this. As he pushes, I want my hand to make contact and slide up his arm, and then it locks behind the elbow here. This is really important because once you're behind the elbow, his bone in here, the humerus bone, plugs into his shoulder. So wherever this lower arm goes, his shoulder points. And wherever the shoulder points, his shoulders turn and his spine turns that way. So like we talked about in the series on how to defend that, there's a surprisingly good amount of leverage there. Now the main thing about this is when he pushes on me, I have control here. He doesn't really realize what's going on. As he tries to turn back into me, I can turn him fairly easily and start walking behind him. This gives me a chance to talk to the guy. Suddenly, he was being aggressive and pushing, and then suddenly, if I just bat his hands away, okay, that might work, but I haven't psychologically or physically disarmed him. The moment he tries to push me and it slides up my arm and I end up here, I have the leverage. Okay, stand up straight and just imagine I'm talking to the guy. So I can say, hey. Now depending how close his feet are together or how heavy he is, I can actually move a person pretty well like this. He would have to get his arm free and circle around in order to square up with me. And if I keep circling around him, it's really psychologically disarming. Suddenly I can get behind him, and we're going to show you what to do with that in a minute. But I just want to stay here at the very lowest levels of force. So again, as he pushes me, this is my beginning point. I want to get behind here. Now if I need to move him around, I can grab his wrist and I've got a basic come along here. I'm not joint locking him, I'm just moving him around the same way as a doorman would do. Okay, I have some leverage here, but if he really starts fighting and spazzing, you're going to have to ramp up the force level again. I can go to here, which is fundamentally a Russian 2-on-1 like we covered in the weapon series, or I can just, if I'm big enough and I'm intimidating enough, I can simply get a hold like that. So these are ways to take an aggressive act and actually use less force than he's using up to that point. Okay? Now, as it becomes more serious or he's larger and you need more control,